I mean, that's a really good question that can we do it? And if we do it, I mean, what would you want to see this fund invest in?
Yeah, I think we could do transformational stuff with this. And if we're able to create a successful sovereign wealth fund, then I think we should be looking at, for instance, like a Marshall Plan for affordable housing in this country. I think we should be looking at childcare and making sure that, maybe there's a public preschool option for every kid in America. We can do some really, really big and bold things with the sovereign wealth fund that we haven't yet done through Congress.
I like what you said about a hammer's a great tool for putting a nail in a wall, not so much for an iPad. I want to read some of the goals of the Sovereign Wealth Fund laid out by President Trump. It's to, quote, promote fiscal sustainability, lessen the burden of taxes on American families and small businesses, establish economic security for future generations, and promote United States economic and strategic leadership internationally. Lofty goals that I'm sure any American could get behind, but how exactly would this do that?
Right. And that's again goes into, I'm interested to see their report. How does he plan on doing that? Where are the funds going to come from? And I sort of go into this with obviously values and ideas, but open-mindedness as well. Once we really start looking at this, what is possible to do from an economic perspective? And just because when a lot of these economic tools we have up here, they're almost like knobs on a stereo, and it's very difficult to turn one without changing the sound somehow. How do we do that when we're talking about a sovereign wealth fund? And so that's why we started with sort of this exploratory commission, and even the president started with an exploratory commission. Now they haven't met the 90-day deadline for the report yet, but even he was sort of looking at this, because I think we have to make sure that we have people talking about this in the right way, that the right type of funds are available to go into the sovereign wealth fund that of course then can be invested to the benefit of the American people. And I think, one of my guiding principles is it has to benefit the American people every step of the way. So we wouldn't want to be taking money into the sovereign wealth fund and away from hardworking Americans right now. How do we make sure that every step of this, we're turning the knobs in the right direction to get the best possible sound for everybody?